Hi, River.
Right.
I thank you for taking the time to come in and see me today. I hear there's a lot going on. Could you tell me a little bit more about what you have going on right now?
Yeah, it's just been so stressful. Um, I um I was diagnosed with OCD earlier this year, and I just feel so overwhelmed all the time. Um, and it's hard too because I've had so many health issues this past year, and they've been getting worse. I had some seizures, and I don't know why
Mm,
they're happening. I'm meeting with the doctor. Like I've gotten on medication for all of it, but I feel like the medication is making me feel worse
mm,
emotionally. I don't know what to do.
yeah. So I'm hearing with this diagnosis of OCD, you've got some other health things going on, trying medication. It's not really working out for you. Um, is that affecting your mood right now, how you're feeling, how you're living your daily life?
Yes, it's so hard right now. I I've had like ideation about like wanting
Mm,
to die like off and on, I would say, ever since I was a teenager, really.
yeah.
But it just feels like it's gotten so much more intense in the last few months. And I
Mm,
feel like whatever seizure medication the doctor has me on, it's just making me feel so sad all of the
mm,
time and haven't been able to go to work. So me and my partner are just like really struggling with rent and groceries and like making
mm,
ends meet. And I can't do anything to help.
mm,
It feels like I'm a dead weight.
mm. It sounds debilitating. That sounds really difficult. And have you talked to your doctor about those side effects coming from that you're feeling like that's coming from the medication? Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't really seem like they were taking it seriously at first, but
Okay.
um I did get my prescription changed and I just started taking the new medication. I picked it up yesterday. So I don't know if it's gonna help, but I mean, at least they did hear me.
Okay. All right. So they're aware that something's going on. You've had a change in your mood. You're feeling down. You're feeling sad with this medication. Um, and you're really noticing that is a big transition. You've had some ideation in the past. That's correct. Even off medication. So this is really just heightening those feelings. Is
Yes.
that correct? Yeah. Okay.
Seriously.
Well, I really appreciate you again taking the time to come and sit down. This can be somewhat of a heavy time. I just have a number of questions to run through. We're going to kind of do it at your pace. If you feel uncomfortable about anything that's coming up, or you're feeling like you need to take a short break, just let me know and we can kind of give it a little pause. Before we get started, I'm wondering if you'd be okay with doing just a really brief kind of breathing, grounding activity, just to get ourselves kind of here and present and ready to kind of
Okay.
embark on something that's a little bit challenging. Would that be okay
Okay.
with you, River?
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you sitting in a chair where
Hmm.
you are? Yeah. If you could do your best, and I know sometimes I like to sit with my feet up, but if you could do your best to kind of put your feet on the floor, or if they're on part of the chair that's kind of stable and solid, just put 2 feet kind of both firmly on that surface. And then I want to kind of ask you just take both your hands and just put them right on your stomach so you can put them over each other and just right on your belly, kind of right over your belly button. It helps sometimes to kind of get your back, kind of push it back against the back of the chair, sit upright and sit straight if you can. And the first thing we're going to do is, just kind of feel. push into the ground, feel your feet on the ground for just a moment. And notice that you're where you're sitting, where your feet are. You have something solid underneath you. And I want you to kind of move up a little bit and just feel how you're sitting in your chair. Just kind of feel your legs and your body just resting in the chair. And just take a moment to let that settle in, let your body settle in. Okay. Now we're going to do a couple kind of intentional breaths, and that means you're going to breathe in through your nose. Kind of feel your belly get full, and then let it go out your mouth. So we're going to do that just 2 more times, in through your nose and out of your mouth. Time. When you're feeling ready, you can let your hands down to your knees. Take them off your belly. It's kind of resuming breathing normally again. It helps to take a couple more little breaths. You're welcome to do so. If you have your eyes closed, you're welcome to open them up. Just kind of take a moment to look around the room you're in. Just think of some things that are familiar that you can see, maybe something that's special, something that's grounding. If you're in an unfamiliar space, maybe just take a moment to find something that you know is familiar to you from a different setting. And if you're feeling like things get a little bit heavy and you're feeling that sense of overwhelm at all, know that there is maybe something in the room you can kind of look at, help to ground yourself. Your feet, you can put your feet on the ground again. You can go back to that, feel the ground underneath. You can pause and put your hands in your belly, take those deep breaths if you need it.
I brought my blanket with me. I take it everywhere. Helps me feel
Great.
comfortable.
And have you had that blanket for a while? Yeah.
Yeah. It's got a lot of pretty colors. I like it a lot.
Nice. It's good to have those things that help us to feel kind of safe and secure sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll hold on to that blanket. We'll get ourselves settled in. Um, and again, I'm just going to go through some questions. Stop me whenever. Feel free to elaborate however you choose as well. And if there's something that, again, is too uncomfortable, feel free to just say pass. Okay.
Okay. I can kind of ramble sometimes, so you might need to
Okay.
pause me because I'll just keep talking.
Okay, now that's good to know. Thank you for saying that, River. And what I might do is I'll just say let's bring ourselves back to our questions, if you don't
Okay.
mind.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be helpful for me. I like to have a cue.
Okay, great. All right. So you had mentioned that you've had some feelings of ideation in the past, and they've become a little bit more intense. You know, maybe it's
Yeah.
because of this new medication you're on. Um, would you say that you have a feeling of wishing you were dead or not alive anymore?
Yeah, not all the time, but sometimes I'll get just like this overwhelming feeling and there's like a voice in my head being mean to me and telling me that everybody would be better off if I wasn't here.
Mm. And would you say in the past month or so, how many times has that voice come up for you
Well, it's happening every day now.
every
Uh,
day?
I would have like a month ago, I probably would have said like every other day, but now it's like
Mm.
every day.
And when that's coming up, um, how intense is that feeling when that voice is telling you that that you should kill yourself?
It's so overwhelming. And
Hmm.
it sometimes I'll just get, I call it my dark space. I'll just like go into
Mm.
my dark space and um it's like nothing can get me out of it. Sometimes it goes on for hours.
Mm. So, have you come up with, I mean, this voice is telling you this, it seems persistent, it lasts for a really long time when you're in that dark place. Have you come up with a plan, or do you have a plan for how you might end your life?
I would say usually not, but I did have the idea the other day that maybe I could just take all the pills in my bottle.
Mm. So is that something you have access to? You do have enough medication with you that would have that result?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do, but I gave the bottle to my partner and he gives it to me so that and he takes the bottle with him when he goes to work so that I don't have to be alone with it.
Okay. So this is something that might be a little intentional, not having access to
Hmm.
those pills. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted him to take them away.
Okay. And so have you talked to your partner about this feeling? Your partner is aware of your
Oh
ideation?
yeah, he knows
Okay.
all about it.
Okay. All right. Um, so in the last month, you've had some of these thoughts. There is the potential for acting on that, but you do have a
Mhm.
safety plan in place already, which is great, knowing
Mhm.
that your partner has those pills so you don't have access. Um, in the last month, have you kind of started to work out any details if you did have access of what that would look like?
No, not really. I don't really want to do it, but sometimes I'll have I'm autistic, so sometimes I'll have a meltdown and I'll just feel
Mm.
so overwhelmed and it feels like I could do it really quickly, like kind of without a plan.
Mm.
Um, and that's when I get really worried.
Mm. So during that meltdown that you describe, you feel like there's a little bit of impulsivity there that you could really
Hmm.
act on something in that moment. And I'm just
Hmm.
curious if you could tell me a little bit more about, how you might bring yourself back when you're in that place, when you're having that meltdown. What are some of the tools that you've developed?
Mm, yeah, it's hard. I mean, I'll put my headphones on,
Hmm.
um, and that kind of helps. And I'll like play my Nintendo Switch. I like to play Animal Crossing and um, or I'll put on it like a TV show
Mm.
that I've watched a lot of times that makes me feel better. And I'll hang out with my cat.
Okay. And are you at home enough that your cat is often around?
Yeah, we're best
Yeah,
friends.
that's great. So your cat is a sense of comfort for you as well.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm
That's
his
great.
mom.
That's great. Yeah, it's wonderful. You have your blanket, you have your cat. Oh, sounds very cozy too.
I like to be cozy for sure.
That's great. So let's see. What would you say? when you are having those moments, I mean, you've mentioned, it being in conjunction with having a meltdown.
Hmm.
Do you have some of those thoughts or feelings outside of that too? I mean, you are thinking about it a lot. You have mentioned that. Um, what would the intensity of those feelings be outside of that, going to that place where you're having that meltdown?
They're kind of in the background.
Okay.
Um, like it's not um like if I'm hanging out with my partner and he's home, um, I'll spend a lot of time with him. Um, or I'll hang out with I do have some friends from work, even though I haven't been able to work. We hang out sometimes. And I have my best friend Ellie.
Mm,
Um, so it's a little bit easier to distract myself when I'm not in a meltdown, but I have a meltdown like at least once a day right now.
okay.
Everything's just so
Oh,
over.
wow. Very often. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And your friend and any other peer you might be with, anyone else you might be with, your partner, they're aware of what's going on when you
They are,
go to that place. Yeah.
they are, but like I don't necessarily feel comfortable always sharing with them. I
Hmm.
always tell my partner, but and my friends know that I've been struggling, but I just like I already feel like such a burden. Like I don't overwhelm them too much.
Hmm. And I'm just curious, does this ever happen when you're by yourself? Will you be on your own and you'll have a meltdown? Yeah.
Yeah. When my partner goes to work, he's a bartender, and so like he'll leave
Okay.
for the evenings and I'll be by myself. And obviously like I don't have the medication with me, so it's not like I'm gonna do anything, but it's still really, really hard.
Mm-hmm. So, how long do these thoughts last when they come up? Or if you could again elaborate a little bit more on, when you're in that place, when it is really intense,
Yeah.
how long does that last for you?
I mean, I would say like sometimes it's only 30 minutes, but then sometimes it
Mhm.
can be like 3 hours. I'm not very good at like pulling myself out of that mental headspace when I don't have somebody to talk to.
Okay. And if you were to be by yourself and you were needing someone, you're picking up your phone, looking through your list of contacts, who would you reach out to right away?
Hmm, I might reach out to Ellie.
Mhm.
She's a really good listener, but she's going through a lot of her own stuff. But I would maybe call her. And then my partner's mom is really helpful. She's gone to a lot of my doctor's appointments with me, which is really nice because my own mom doesn't answer my phone calls. But I would say either one of them probably.
Okay. So, um, next couple questions, or this upcoming question, it's kind of a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay.
So, on a scale of, or I'm sorry, 0 to 10, how intense are those thoughts? If you could put a number to it. So, 0 would be no anxiety at all. 1 is feeling pretty good. 10 is unbearably bad. And that's
Hmm.
where, that's that moment you're feeling pushed over the edge.
It goes to a 10. It definitely goes to a 10, but
Okay.
then it'll go back down to like a 7 where it's just like nagging at me.
And if you have someone there with you, would that be the same? Would that leap down, go even lower than 7?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
like if my partner's with me or if I'm over at Ellie's house, I'd say it was probably like a 5.
5. Okay. All right. And so how comfortable do you feel with managing those impulsive thoughts as they're coming up?
I just feel really tired doing it. Like I've been doing it for so long and it feels like they're just getting worse. And It feels like nothing's ever going to get better.
And have you been able to talk to someone in the past, like a counselor or a therapist about what to do and maybe develop some tools with that person?
Yeah, I mean, I was in therapy when I was a teenager and I didn't really feel like it was very helpful, but I did just get assigned a new therapist at the LGBT center here, and I've only had 2 sessions with them so far, but I like them. I like them. I'll definitely go back.
Okay, that's good. So you feel comfortable there.
I think so, for
Okay.
now
Yeah.
anyway.
For now. And would you go back to see them weekly or?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
we have sessions on Thursday mornings now, so
Hmm.
I look forward to that. I just need somebody to listen to me.
Hmm. And so now this next question, I'm just kind of curious about some of the reasons you might have behind some of these thoughts when you go to that place. Um, do you feel that when you are there, is there a desire to just not live anymore, or might the reason be something different?
I'm just there's part of me that's just tired and I just want to take a
Yeah.
break from being alive. And then there's another part of me where I feel like I'm only 22 and I already can't work and I'm already having these really bad health issues. Like, how is it supposed to get better when I'm older, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to, I hate feeling like an inconvenience. Like, everybody just has to take care of me all the time. Like, that sucks for them.
Right. So there's a lot of pressure, it sounds like there too.
Yeah.
And so I understand that feeling of wanting to take a break from
Yeah.
everything and, as you say, just not be here anymore for a short period of time. Yeah, I very much understand that. Um, so we can kind of move on a little bit. I'm wondering if you have made a plan or you have a plan that you have gone to in the past when some of these things are coming up. I know you've been telling me that it's a bit of kind of a searching for a temporary relief in a way from a lot of
Yeah.
that pressure that's going on. I'm hearing that you have a lot of support and that you have your boyfriend, you have your friend Ellie. There are other peers as well that you're kind of
Yeah.
close
Yeah.
with. Yeah. Hmm. And then you have some of your comforts. You have the coziness of your home, your cat, your blanket. You've got some other things that you can carry with you. Um, so what I'd like to do is just kind of come up with a couple ideas, some
Okay.
things that we could focus on
Okay.
to just be able to pull out if you need them in that moment. So it sounds like you already have some things that might be on that list. Um, and then it's something you have with you. You don't have to use it. You don't have to go to it. If it's something you want to refer to later, bring to your therapist and talk with your therapist about.
Yeah. That's a
It
good
could be
idea.
helpful. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's always just hard to think of stuff, when I'm feeling really bad. So it might be nice to just like have it all in one place.
That's great. Okay. So I'd love for you to kind of just take a minute. So I know you have some folks who you're close with. Um, do you feel comfortable? Again, I'm kind of bring up that question of if you brought out your phone, if you picked up your phone and you're looking through your contacts, you'd call your friend Ellie, maybe reach out to your boyfriend as well. Yeah. Um,
Yeah. And his mom too. She's
okay.
so nice to me. I just feel bad because she's not my mom, but
Hmm.
I mean,
So
I
what?
guess.
Yeah. So your
I know
boyfriend's
that.
mom,
Yeah.
but you have a positive relationship with her. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
she's been so helpful, and she knows that my mom doesn't check in on me or
Okay.
care about me, so she's
Okay.
she's done a lot of mom stuff for me, which I appreciate. She's the best.
Great. It's really nice to have someone else like that, even if, especially if your mom isn't that person for you, to have someone else who could be that mother figure. Yeah. Are there any other kind of service workers, counselors, therapists, anyone else that you see on somewhat of a regular basis that if you're really feeling in crisis that you could reach out to?
Uh, I guess so. Um, my my partner's family has really kind of adopted me, and so a couple of his cousins I'm close with. Um, but like I have a bunch of sisters and a mom and a dad, and none of them care about me. Um, and it's just always been like that, and it's so hard to take. But yeah, I mean, I guess I have my partner and his mom, a couple of his cousins that are my friends now too, and I have Ellie, and I have the girls from work. So I guess that's not bad.
Okay. So you've got there's a little bit of a community I'm sensing built in there, some folks that
Uh,
are there to reach out to. So let's put them all on the list. I think, and as I'm kind of thinking about it, as listening to you list each of these people, and I'm seeing somewhat of a list.
yeah,
So it's nice to know that there's a little bit more of that support there, people looking out for you as well. And do you have any of these folks, before we kind of get back to this plan, any of these folks who do check in on you pretty regularly too?
yeah. I would say I would say I see Ellie at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. I'll go
Mhm.
over to her house. Um, and then my partner's mom doesn't, she's not really great with the phone. So she doesn't necessarily like call me or text me, but if I call or text her, she's always available.
Okay, that's great to know. Um, and would it be helpful, and this is something we can put on that plan, is to be kind of active about that, letting people know that you would like them to check in on you on occasion.
Do you think I should ask them?
I think it could be helpful, if that's something that, if there are people who, like your friend Ellie, who knows that this is something that comes up for you. Um, it's coming up more frequently now for you, and maybe like a daily check in. Is that something you'd feel comfortable doing?
I bet she would do it. It's just embarrassing.
Yeah, I think that's a really difficult thing to ask, especially of a friend. So I understand that. I'm going to put it down for now as an idea, and maybe it's
Okay.
something that we can think about and revisit. You can revisit another time if you feel more comfortable at another time. That be okay?
Yeah. I mean, I am gonna go over to her house tomorrow, so I guess maybe we could have a conversation about it in person.
Okay. Yeah. So again, we'll write it down for us for today. And if you feel comfortable tomorrow when you see her, and might be a good place to start.
Okay.
Okay. Next question for kind of our plan here. What do you enjoy? What do you like to do for fun?
Well, I was kind of like trying to start a clothing embroidery company with my friend.
Right?
I got a sewing machine that I really like. I just like haven't had a lot of motivation to play with it recently. But my special interest is sharks, and I made a shark sweater the other day,
Mm,
and it was so cool. I loved it. I might do that again. So I like that. I like playing with my cat. Um, I love doing like movie nights
Mm.
with Ellie and with my partner. Um, I like fashion. I like clothes. Um, I used to really like doing my hair and makeup, but just haven't had a lot of motivation recently. But I do. I mean, I like those things for sure.
Okay. So you have some good hobbies too that you
Uh,
enjoy doing. And do those help you to feel a little bit calmer, safer?
when I do them, yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
It's just like sometimes starting that
Mhm.
can be hard. But I think
Mhm.
like if I had a friend like if I could figure out something where my friend would like call me and like talk me through starting the sewing
Mhm.
machine up or something, that could maybe help me start.
Okay. So do you think there would be a time that you could kind of engage with another a friend or have a kind of a scheduled time during the week that you would do this?
Yeah, my like I said, my partner works nights and it's
Mhm.
really hard for me when he's gone. So maybe I could invite Ellie or one of the girls from work to come over and sew
Okay.
with me. I just
Okay.
like don't feel very good at hosting right now, but
Hmm.
maybe they would understand.
Hmm. And who knows, maybe they would even offer to host at their place as well.
True.
Yeah. Take that little bit of pressure off you as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you would feel comfortable saying something like that too, again, kind of opening that door a little bit and communicating that, that could be helpful. So we have a couple of things down. You have friends, you have family, your boyfriend's mother who you feel comfortable reaching out to and talking with. Um, and you have some hobbies, some things that you're interested in doing that help you to feel kind of calmer, grounded, safe. Um, for now, we can kind of start by thinking about implementing a plan by going to some of those resources as soon as you're starting to have some of those feelings, building it into your routine. Once you're moving through the week and you have some of those things you're looking forward to, you have those folks that you know are going to be there for you. Um, then we have kind of a nice, simple little place to start. Again, it's something you can take with you. It's something that we can add to too. That you can add to as you go along, as you start to think of after we're done talking, thinking of more things that you might be interested in exploring. Um, and when you continue on with your therapist, it's also something that you can bring up with them as well.
Yeah. She would
Yeah,
definitely help me with that.
great. So we're going to wrap up for now. I would love to have us to just kind of return to that grounding activity if you feel comfortable doing that. Would that
Okay.
be okay? Okay. So I'm just going to ask you to put your feet on the ground again. If you'd like to close your eyes, you're welcome to. And this time we're just going to put our hands on our belly again. And we're just going to do 3 kind of deep, slow breaths. And then on your last breath, kind of take a moment to open your eyes again, and then we'll be ready to end our session. So take a deep breath in, out, another in, out, and last breath in, out. As you're sitting there, I just want you to kind of give it a little firm push with both your feet on the ground, not to lift yourself up, but just to kind of feel that ground underneath your feet. Feel that floor underneath your feet. Let's do one more little firm push and then let go and just relax into your chair. All right, when you're ready, open up your eyes. All right, well, River, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me today and sharing. I know that's a lot of weight that you're carrying. I hope we have a couple tools that we developed today that you might be able to take with you. And again, share this with your therapist. And as you start to move through, going through these feelings every day, again, remember that you have just a little bit more to kind of return back to, a little bit more in your toolbox to come back to.
I'll
All
print it
right.
out so it's somewhere